allow us to thank AREA for inviting AHA Center for this event. We'll take opportunity as well to thank the government of Indonesia for hosting the AHA Center, the host country, as well as support given to AHA Center. And of course, we would like to take this opportunity as well for the government of Japan, who has provided a tremendous support to AHA Center since day one of the establishment of AHA Center and operationalization of AHA Center. We would like to take this opportunity as well to thank other partners that have supported AHA Center. Allow me to talk about 5 thoughts or thinking or point for today's discussion. Number 1 is about the changing landscape in disaster management, which is the emerging role of regional organizations. Why regional organization matters? The humanitarian dilemma or disaster management dilemma is about choosing what we call international standard, international approach at one end, and another belief of there is no one size fits all. These two are contradictory. You have to choose one. Regional organization is placed in between, which it understands what the regional standard is, and it understands what size of this international standard can fit into the country. The regional organization is living on the day-to-day basis in the member state in their region. They really understand what are the challenges faced by each of their member states and what practice are available out there that can help. And this, the approach of the international standard versus the need of the country definitely changed over time. 15 years ago, I'll pick a country, Indonesia, because I'm coming from this country. It's very difficult to talk about disaster management because we did not have that experience compared to now. After the tsunami, then Padang, then Jogja, all this big disaster, the scale is different. We have BNPB now with a massive achievement and progress and capacities. We have a lot of expertise here, and this builds the strength of each country. In ASEAN region, of course, one country cannot be compared with others. But again, it proves that the advantage of regional organization to serve as a bridge between the country where they are positioned and the international community which setting the standard. Now, when we talk about the emerging trend of the disaster, regional organization of disaster management, it's not only ASEAN. But a few weeks ago, we had this regional organization dialogue, consists of several regional organizations in the world. The Caribbean, the Africa, the Islamic countries, the Arab League, and so on. It's the same. There is a trend where the regional organization more and more will assume more responsibilities. There is a trend where more and more the regional organization will do more things in the region. So the support for the regional organization is one of the good investments, because when we talk about the mandate is there, the challenge is about building the capacity of this regional organization. And when it comes to disaster response, we're talking about two things, speed and scale. The speed, definitely the regional organization is there because they lead in that region. They move very fast. But the scale, this is where the link with the international approach is required, because the massive support, the scale of support from the international organization is usually much bigger in what is available in the region so far. But this will continue to change. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the need to change the way we do things, the innovation. In the humanitarian organization or disaster management, very rare that we see there is a research and development structure in the organization. This is the private sector teams. But it doesn't mean that we need to keep the way we do things as 10 years ago. Innovation is now required in this disaster management. Now, innovation is not about technology only. Technology is the easiest part. The challenge is about changing the way we do things. This is where private sectors become important in this element, because innovation is usually the luxury that the private sector has, and this need to be shifted as well to disaster management. Maybe 10 years from now, it's different how we report disaster. 10 years from now, it's different on how we decide disaster. 20 years ago, we don't even think about smartphone, but now we cannot live without. So 2 is about the need for innovation. 3, toward the evidence-based and fact-based disaster management policy. This is where the role of the research institute becomes important. If we talk about the contribution of disaster management toward the risk reduction, toward the growth of economy, what percentage that we are using? How do we measure the effectiveness of disaster management approach toward the economic growth, for example? So it is very important for research industry to continue to supply numbers, the economic numbers of things that we do that can change the way we design the policy. So again, I remember when I was in Sendai listening to the presentation of OECD, a lot of numbers, a lot of statistics. That's very interesting. So we need more. So then when we make a decision, it's no longer based on the feeling or based on personal experience, but the numbers talk. Number 4 is about toward the making of disaster management industry, if you comfortable with that, or the humanitarian industry. Why? This is a billion dollar activities. But whether that activities contribute to the local economy or not. The trend in the future, when we talk about World Humanitarian Summit, the constant issues that are being discussed is about localizing the response. This means more actors for the local areas that get involved. This is where it becomes very important where the industry is ready. Is it correct that when the area is being affected, even the tent, we cannot produce? Is it correct that, for example, Indonesia, Philippines, other countries that has the, what we call the potential on disaster management, but then no consulting industry for disaster management? So this is where we talk about the future. Disaster management will become an industry as well. My last point is about toward professionalism in disaster management. I think disaster management will become a profession. So when we talk about disaster management as a profession, we talk about standard, we talk about certification. Long time ago, management is not a profession. But now you go for MBA degree for your study. Long time ago, when we respond for Aceh, there is no such thing, master degree in disaster management. Now, the Shah Kuala University in Banda Aceh offer a degree, master degree in disaster management. The future, if we talk about humanitarian industry, we talk about disaster management industry, then disaster management need to become a profession where standard and certification does matter. If not, we cannot say why I'm becoming an expert. Who says so? So this is about the future, and of course in this conference we hope that we can learn from Japan experience. We can learn from each other. Japan will remain as the standard in the world when it comes to disaster management. A lot of innovation, so we thank for the organizer of this conference. But whatever it is, let's keep discussion on innovation, discuss about the future, discuss about change. Thank you so much.